Today I want to talk to you about the work-faith balance. It's a puzzle I've been working on for a couple of years, and I'm not talking about waking up, clocking into your work, making some solid dough, and going home to praise the Lord. I'm talking about waking up, clocking into your work, and you are literally acting out your faith while doing the work that you love. I know that work and faith can coexist, but for us creatives, it may be a little bit harder than it looks. Or easier? Anyways, in my creative journey, I started with neither work nor faith, built both up at the same time, thought I had figured it out, but somehow allowed faith to sneak away from me. It was so confusing. But by sharing my story and my mistakes, I want to try to articulate my new opinion on how us creatives can love the work that we do while simultaneously acting out our faith, never letting it sneak away from us. Alright, let's go. Back when me and God weren't like this, I was searching for a pathway that would make me happy during college applications. I hesitantly decided that I wanted to pursue filmmaking, but I also had the fear that, like everything else, it would end up getting boring and I would get caught in the 9-to-5 cycle and I was screwed. Okay, so at this point, my work side is, got a little something going on. But then my faith side is pretty much empty. I didn't truly know how to incorporate God into my work quite yet. So now the goal is, of course, to have both of these sides full. So hypothetically, if my work side is full, I imagine you just feel happy, passionate, and just fulfilled in the work that you're doing. So now, for the faith side, I imagine that you just feel God flowing through you in the work that you're doing. You just feel like your job is completely serving God. Okay, this is the goal. How do we get here? So thank God that next year, I finally started to figure it out. I learned how to truly incorporate God into my life, and I'd also had some pretty good success in my early filmmaking journey. I started up a cool little segment in our school news, which gained some popularity, and I loved it. So to avoid my fear of getting bored, I wanted to try to make something with purpose. I wanted to incorporate that faith that I was discovering into my news segment. I wanted to make something that spread positivity. And now the good stuff. It was so full of positivity. It was so good. So in my last episode, I wanted to just drop the mic and radiate that positivity everywhere. So my message is that we need to use our thing, our gift, mine is filmmaking, yours may be something different, to show why the world is, well, good. So using that project, let's check in with the balance. So on the work side, did working on that project make me feel happy, passionate, fulfilled? Most definitely. It was so great. I loved it. So the faith side. Did working on that project make me feel like I was adequately serving God? Well, matter of fact, the message that came to be in that finale episode is literally in the Bible. Not to mention that I honestly did feel that feeling of God flowing through you working on that project. So yes, I can confidently conclude that at that moment, my work-faith balance was balanced. And it was so perfect. So perfect that I literally dedicated my life to the good stuff and to maintaining this exact balance. And then I totally got ahead of myself and I lost it. I'll explain. So after learning the good stuff, I was dreaming big. Like, one day I'll be making some sort of videos or films which spread positive messages. Like, I don't know how, but hey, I'm following God, right? Well, one day I won't even need to be spreading the gospel in person. I'll just be doing it on video for millions to see. It'll be great. One day I will be a revolutionary, changing the world and just spreading God with everything I do. Wait, why don't I just become a preacher so that everything I do is spreading the word of God? Well, that's not my thing. My thing is filmmaking, so I'm gonna do what I've been called to do, and I'm gonna make some films. Side note, this is why I chose creative work instead of all work for this video. Because with creative work, it's so easy to have these massive dreams because there is so much potential to just inject some Jesus, some positivity into your work. There's so many great things that you can do. But from my experience, that injection was a bit misleading to me because those dreams about being a revolutionary and whatever were a little bit unhealthy for me. So now, I'm entering college, big dreams. 2 jobs, one with Viking Fusion Studios and one with the social media team for the business school. And I already have a short film set for next semester. It has a message and it'll be a great portfolio piece to one day serve God to the max. Shit! Tons of Instagram videos, portfolios getting bigger, working on productions in the spring, short films coming up soon, making connections, might have some projects for the summer, applying for a summer video internship. My resume is gonna look freaking sexy. God, I'm stressed, but I'm serving you, so I'm thankful. More pre-production, planning for this epic, creative short film. I've been waiting for almost a year. None of these internships are hitting. What am I gonna do with myself this summer? How can I serve the Lord creatively? Short film postponed for 6 months. Whoa. I'm trying too hard. I had to open up my Bible and Jesus told me I'm trying too hard. But I was so confused because am I not doing this for God? I'm performing the good stuff, am I not? I'm using my thing to serve the world with this short film. I controlled everything that I could control and God took it away. Am I not doing it for God?
Well, I was also distracted. I was so focused on trying to keep my balance at balance that all I did was fill up the work side. I was trying so hard to inject my faith into my work that I never even focused on injecting it into myself. I wasn't even the most kind or loving or fruitful person in the relationships right in front of my face. So, of course God took it away from me. I wasn't really working for him. I was just trying to slap his signature on the work that was really for me.
So at this point we have had the good stuff, and we know that it's pretty cool as creatives to inject some Jesus into our work. But learning this, I know that it's now more important to inject some Jesus into myself first, and then just allow that to blossom naturally into my work. And so before that blossoming can happen, we need to first focus on the direct relationships that we have with other people through that injection. Okay, so what do we do now? How do we even achieve balance if the harder we try to fulfill it, the worse results we get? How do we know if our thing is even our thing in the first place? Well, I was left trying to figure this out because I entered this summer with no job, no internship, no short film under my belt, and 2 years left of college to figure out what the heck I'm doing with my life. So of course I go to ChatGPT and ask, what do I do with my life? Got some pretty good answers. Started to hone in on the commercial sector of the video industry because it is more of a balance of my skills personally. But then I had the concern that commercial video production would be just too simple. I was concerned that there would be no room for the positivity that I injected myself to blossom, no matter how much I inject. But then that made me wonder about other jobs, like how do you achieve balance if you're an accountant? Because the world needs accountants, but Since they're not in a creative role, they have way less potential to allow their positivity to directly blossom into their work. Like, they can't send messages from God in video or music or novels. They're just crunching numbers and probably other stuff, but to those whose God-given gift is accounting, does God just give them a disadvantage? That just doesn't seem right. So I asked my dad about this because he's in the same kind of corporate game doing sales and marketing for aluminum companies. It's not as flashy by any means as a creative job, but still very, very important work, like manufacturing beer cans and rocket ships. And he said that in the workplace, not everyone is looking for a spiritual awakening, and that just by doing your job well and building good relationships.
Yeah.
Okay.
And helping bringing the best out of others, or helping others find their best.
So yeah, by helping others find their best and by just doing your job well, you are able to show your love in the workplace and also allow other people to reap the fruits of their labor. Fair?
Fair.
So can we directly see how my dad's positivity blossoms into his work? Well, looking at the work on paper, not really. But considering the overall workplace experience and the difference that he made, it really seems like he achieved balance. Alright, gonna try and connect the dots. So question, how do we achieve balance without letting faith sneak away from us? Answer, by doing our job well, by building direct relationships, through using our thing with positivity. Now, I think that although none of these are faith-infused on paper, they are still all ultimately for the purpose of serving God and allowing Him to flow through us. Because doing our job well allows us to effectively serve God, whatever the purpose is. Building direct relationships allows us to spread love, the greatest commandment. Doing our thing allows us to fulfill the good stuff, which is seen in the Bible. And using positivity allows us to do it all in the image of God. But we still haven't answered the question of how do we know our faith and positivity will blossom correctly? As we said, doing our job well, how do we know our job is right? How do we know our job is serving God and achieving balance instead of just serving our personal purposes and our desire for a pleasurable, good paying, but meaningless job? It honestly is confusing, but when we're in that dilemma, I think that we just pray. I don't think we can truly quantify whether or not any creative work is God's work. We even saw with my short film that working so hard to work for God may just do the opposite. So instead, we just ask the source. The world needs preachers of His word, but it also needs accountants and everything in between. So I think that no matter how much faith was injected into our work on paper, if God wanted us in that role, He will hold the balance a balance. I think that has to be right? It was a little confusing to me and probably to you, but anything else beyond our own understanding, I'm just leaving to the man with infinite wisdom. Because, as we saw, the more we try to hang on to our lives, figure things out, the more we lose it. Alright, the end. If you've listened to a 19-year-old sharing his shower thoughts for this long, I really appreciate you. So, comment any opinions that you have on this, because I would love for us to learn together, and I hope I'll make another video like this sometime. Thanks again. Is that organic?